Welcome to the Foolproof FSBO podcast. I'm Tim the FSBO guy, and this is the show that helps homeowners sell their homes without paying that $31,000 agent tax. Hey, every week I'm going to share real strategies, simple tools, and proven checklists that make selling your home yourself safe, fast, and profitable. So if you're ready to keep your equity and stay in control of your sale, you're in the right place. Let's go ahead and dive in. Did you know that every time you ignore closing week protocols, you are risking about $30,000 in 3 months of your life? That's the average commission plus the time you'll waste if your sale implodes at the finish line. And the wild part here is that most sellers treat closing week like vacation week. They assume everyone else is handling things while they pack their boxes and daydream about their new place. Meanwhile, the loan officer is juggling 17 files. Yours is buried underneath some coffee-stained pile that's labeled "deal with later." Your title company is drowning in paperwork using your purchase agreement as a coaster. Oh, and don't forget, somewhere in Tel Aviv, some criminal wearing pajamas is crafting a fake wire instruction that could vaporize your buyer's down payment faster than, your kid's college fund at a casino. It's like leaving your party animal teenager at home alone with the car keys and a credit card.
You guys up for a toga party? Toga! Toga! Yeah, I think they like the idea, Hoove.
It's technically possible, but why would you want to do that to yourself? So here's what actually saves deals. I want you to treat the final 72 hours of this whole process like you're defusing a bomb while wearing oven mitts. Not because you're paranoid, but because everyone else is operating on what I like to call real estate time. It's like island time, where immediately means tomorrow, and tomorrow means maybe next week, and urgent means whenever they get around to it. Your buyer is stress-eating Tums, your title company is overwhelmed, and if agents are involved, they're already mentally spending their commissions on a boat they'll name Easy Money. I don't know. The fascinating psychology of closing week is that everyone becomes their own worst version of themselves. The buyer who just loved your house and jumped through so many hoops to get it suddenly becomes Sherlock Holmes with a magnifying glass and a grudge.
Game, Mrs. Hudson, is on.
Or that charming couple who just gushed over your kitchen. Well, now they're documenting the condition of your doorknobs like it's a crime scene. The lender who pre-approved everything all of a sudden discovers urgent questions about a $3 Starbucks charge. Maybe this is indicative of financial instability. It's like, come on. Even you might find yourself lying awake at 3 a.m. Googling, is a creaky floorboard legally a defect? Spoiler alert, it's not, but try explaining that to yourself when you can't sleep in the middle. Now, if you're looking for a trick to prevent lending disasters, here it is. Wednesday at 9 a.m., I want you to text your buyer. Hey, quick check. Can you confirm that your lender has cleared all conditions and you're approved to fund by Friday? And when they respond with anything vague, immediately follow with, please have your lender email written confirmation by noon tomorrow. This is going to force transparency while there's still time to fix problems. Loan officers respond to deadlines and not hopes. So your polite urgency is going to move your file from the middle of their pile to the top without making enemies. Now, let's talk about the secret weapon that attorneys use but never advertise. It's the power of being magnificently, gloriously boring, right? When everything is documented, organized, and confirmed in advance, closing day becomes about as exciting as watching paint dry in a beige room. There's no drama, there's no surprises, or 3-hour delays while someone frantically searches for a missing document that turns out to be in the printer tray the whole time. Ask me how I know. Boring is beautiful when hundreds of thousands of dollars are on the line. Save the excitement for your victory dance in the parking lot. Now, one of the most expensive mistakes that sellers make during this week is assuming their home is going to speak for itself during the final walkthrough. Your house can't defend itself against a nervous buyer who's looking for problems like my kids look for their hidden Halloween candy. These buyers are going to test light switches that they've never noticed. They're going to inspect ceilings they've never looked at and suddenly develop really strong opinions about the water pressure in the guest bathroom that they might use twice a year. See, what you need here is evidence. The sort of evidence that makes it really clear everything worked before they arrived, because memories are pretty worthless at the closing table when somebody is asking for a $5,000 credit for a broken dishwasher that actually was just set to delayed start. Yes, that happened. Yes, I wanted to use some really colorful language. I saved it for the car.
No! God, please, no! No!
Here's a walkthrough hack that almost no one is going to tell you about, and it's going to solve all of the last-minute credit demands. Record everything the day before closing. These are kitchen appliances. Make sure they're running. Show that the HVAC is responding. The toilets are flushing. All the doors are latching. And then I want you to take it to the next level and do a little bit of a genius move for me. I want you to email the video to yourself with subject line of pre-closing condition documentation or something memorable like that. That way it's time-stamped in your sent folder and you sent it to them. So when buyers try to negotiate credits for existing wear and tear, you calmly reference the video showing everything working. One seller used this to save $4,000 when a buyer claimed that all of a sudden the HVAC system failed. 20 minutes of filming saved that guy 2 weeks of income. Now, what's absolutely nuts about real estate closings is that half of the people involved are completely winging it harder than I did when I had to get the girls ready for school and it was hair time. So your title company, they might be a well-oiled machine. Or it might be Sharon, who started last Tuesday and she's still learning the ropes. She's nice, but she thinks escrow is a type of bird. Your buyer's lender might be on top of everything, or they might be in Cabo posting Instagram stories while their out of office reply lies about being currently assisting other clients. This isn't cynicism, it's just the reality of the situation. We're human beings, so you need to operate on the principle that the only person who really cares about your closing is you. Well, you and whoever you owe the money to. And speaking of money, this is probably a really good time to talk to you about wire fraud. Last year, these absolute dirtbags made $2 billion, billion with a B, $2 billion intercepting real estate wires. They send emails that look exactly like the legitimate wire instructions, except the account number routes to their account in Bangladesh instead of your title company in Chicago. So your buyer, they send their life savings thinking that they're buying the American dream. And 15 sad minutes later, it's converted to crypto and it's probably funding somebody's yacht in international waters. The speed is incredible and it's almost impressive if the people behind it weren't just such trash. Never let your buyer wire money without this crucial verification step. Title companies are usually pretty good about this, but you need to be proactive here. 3 days before closing, I want you to send this exact message, quote, security alert, criminals often send fake wire instructions. Before sending any funds, call your title company at the number from your original paperwork, not from any email, and I want you to verify every detail verbally by phone. Never trust emailed wire instructions alone. Follow up with them the next day. Please confirm you've spoken directly with the title company and they verified the instructions. I know that this paranoia seems crazy, but this paranoia saves your payoff from ending up in the worst hands. Now, let me talk to you about the panic phenomenon, which is the day before panic. I've watched it happen roughly 1,000 times. The day before closing, everyone suddenly realizes, holy crap, it's actually happened the next day. It's like kids remembering they have a science project due tomorrow. It triggers a panic response where every single party starts double checking everything. And when they do that, they're usually discovering something that nobody thought to handle. Like the HOA needs a form that takes 5 business days. Surprise! Or the lender wants proof of an old deposit from when you sold lemonade in 3rd grade. The title company can't read the fax signature page because who still uses fax machines? So the day before is when theoretical problems become real emergencies and everyone's looking at you like you should have psychic powers and have been able to prevent all of this. Now, one cost we usually forget to account for is the emotional toll of a blown closing. It's not just rescheduling movers who charge by the hour and then seem to move in slow motion when they actually move. It's explaining to your kids why they can't start their new school on time. Have you ever tried explaining escrow to a 7-year-old? Or it's your spouse questioning whether you should have just hired an agent, as if an agent could have prevented your buyer from wiring their funds to a scammer in Bangladesh. It's lying awake at night wondering if the buyer will actually come back to the table or if you're going to have to start over with the showings where people criticize your choice of throw pillows. It's why prevention beats repair every single time, just as much as flossing beats root canals. Here are 5 essential confirmation calls for closing week success. So let's pretend we're closing on Friday. Well, on Monday, we're going to get in touch with the HOA for documents. We're going to get in touch with the mortgage company for the payoff statement. And we're going to make sure the title company has us for their receipt timeline. On Tuesday, we're going to verify that title received all the necessary documents. Wednesday, it's your job to confirm final lender approval and updated payoff amount. Thursday morning, the title company is going to do their final checklist review. And on Thursday afternoon, you're going to verify the buyer's lender is ready to wire. Friday, before leaving home, I want you to confirm that the buyer's wire has arrived at the title company. Each call is going to take about 3 minutes, but it's going to prevent 3-hour delays. One missed confirmation call can turn your 9 a.m. closing into a 3 p.m. nightmare. Now, fun fact about closings, if it goes bad, bring snacks and a phone charger. That's all I can tell you. And I'm as serious about this as I am about making your mortgage payments on time. If everything goes perfectly, you'll be out in 30 minutes celebrating with overpriced coffee. But if one signature page is missing, or if someone's wire is delayed, you will be sitting at that conference table for hours while people make phone calls and counter accusations. And naturally, the vending machine is going to be broken. Just trust me, it will be. I've seen closing where this seller's blood sugar crashed and they got so hangry, they almost walked out over a $500 dispute about a mailbox. And in case you're curious, a granola bar and a forgotten can of Coke in the office fridge ended up saving the deal. And I think the Coke was flat, but at that point, nobody cared. So if you want a pro tip, I'll give you one. Bring chocolate. It makes everyone friendlier, even attorneys. And the math of closing week is absolutely brutal if things go wrong, like my attempt at helping my kid with Common Core math. Every day of delay, it costs money. Your carrying costs, they continue to accumulate. So your moving truck charges extra because apparently sitting in your driveway is hard work. Or think about things like your rate lock that you have for your new house or the buyer has for yours. Maybe that expires at the worst possible moment because of a delay. I've heard that when rates were climbing like crazy, one seller lost $4,000 because their closing pushed a week and their buyer's rate lock expired during a spike. Well, one thing led to another, and the buyer demanded that the seller cover the difference via rate buy down, which he ultimately agreed to while probably crying a little bit inside. 3 hours of prevention would probably have saved about $4,000 of negotiation for that poor soul, and I'm sure several bottles of stress wine. Now, did you know that the average seller discovers $700 in surprise fees at the closing table? Here's how to prevent that gut punch for yours. 3 days before closing, I want you to get with your title company. I want you to ask for the preliminary Alta, and I want you to compare it line by line with your contract. Common surprises are things like courier fees, overnight mail charges, deed prep costs, tax proration errors, and mysteriously inflated little title fees. When you spot anything unexpected, just bring it up and let them know that that particular line item wasn't in your agreement. Just ask them to please explain the purchase. Don't be all accusatory. One seller found a $4,000 processing fee that just totally vanished after a single phone call. The title company is your ally here, but even they will incur some expenses that are traditionally passed on. Just make sure that you're being treated fairly. And the moment you know that you've finished the race is when the title company says those magic words, "We are clear to close." Hallelujah. Don't you love that? And that day is going to be great. It's going to be better than your second wedding day. Yes, you heard me right. Your kid's first word and finding $20 in your jacket pocket all combined. Not when the papers are signed, not when the keys change hands, but when the money is actually confirmed in your account. That's when everyone just breathes like they've been holding their breath since going under contract, which, let's be honest, in a way they have. That's when the buyer stops inspecting your doorknobs for defects and starts arguing with their spouse about where the TV should go. And that's where you transform from anxious seller to person with a fat check who's thinking about their next move. Now, if your next move is buying another home, here's where being part of the foolproof FSBO community pays off once again. I will connect you with one of my personally trained bulldog buyer's agents who will negotiate the pants off the listing agent for your next home. I mean, their basic goal is to find the listing agent in the fetal position after we're done with them. Maybe not that bad, but I can tell you that my people will knock down any wall to ensure that you get the absolute best deal possible on your next house. And because you're my student, they're going to work for you at a friends and family rate that'll make regular buyers weep with jealousy. So what does that look like? I mean, we're talking probably another 5 to 10 grand on your next purchase minimum. The closing process, listen, it can test your patience, like assembling furniture with missing instructions that were written in Chinese anyway. But with the systems that I've outlined for you here, you're not hoping for success while crossing your fingers. As we say all the time, hope is not a strategy. You're engineering success here like a Swiss watch. Every confirmation, every document, every paranoid double check, it's another brick in the wall between you and disaster. And if you stack enough bricks, that wall is going to become impenetrable. The real victory here, though, it's not just the money that you save on commission, even though that's going to buy a lot of stress chocolate. It's knowing that you navigated one of life's most complex transactions without paying an exorbitant amount of money to an agent who would treat selling your home as a hobby to be thought of only between yoga classes and wine tastings. You face down the title companies who are juggling your file with 50 others. You even dealt with the nervous buyers who were evaluating the structural integrity of the decorative throw pillows. This closing week chaos makes tax season seem relaxing by comparison, but you won. And that confidence, it follows you into whatever comes next, because if you could sell a house yourself in this market while keeping your sanity mostly intact, I'm going to venture to say that you can handle damn near anything. Now that I've showed you how to defuse the closing week bombs, it's important to realize that some of the scariest explosives, well, they were armed the moment you signed your final signature. Many unfortunate home sellers have learned that one missed disclosure can become a subpoena with an expensive price tag attached. That's why I made this video right here. It's going to show you exactly which 5 legal landmines are buried in every FSBO sale and the specific paperwork that keeps you from stepping on them.
Thanks for listening to the Foolproof FSBO podcast. For free tools and step-by-step guides to sell your home with confidence, head on over to foolprooffsbo.com/podcast. That's foolprooffsbo.com/podcast. And we'll see you next week.